How are you doing? This is Antoinette Louise Joy, the author of Becoming Phenomenal. This is an hour of girl talk. Me and my girls are going to be kicking it on subjects like diet, nutrition, love, romance, marriage, dating, clothes, what to wear, fashion, hair, wig. We're going to talk about all that. If you want to comment or even if you want to ask a question, you can call us. The numbers at the bottom of the screen. This is my dream come true. What is yours? God is good all the time, and you can become phenomenal too. Welcome back. This is Antoinette Louise Joy, and our discussion today, real good one, is bullying in the workplace for nurses. All of us are RNs, so we're going to continue our discussion. Paulette had something to say.
Hi, as you know, I'm Paulette, and I am a registered nurse also. Maybe a little less than Miss Antoinette. Been a registered nurse for a little over 3 decades. So,
how old are you?
I'm over 50. I'm over 50. I am over 50.
I love it.
But to go back to the conversation, it's very interesting because I feel like what you discussed prior to us going on break, stating that the nurses that's supposed to be in your corner protecting you like you would protect them, I feel like those nurses are also fighting this nurse next to me to have my back, nor am I going to have anyone else's back because I'm fighting for my life too. And I think that's a big part of it. I've been a nurse for so long, and I feel like the professionalism in nursing is gone. The type of nurses that are coming into the professional now is there's a lot of nurses that I feel, and this is my personal opinion, these nurses are there because they feel like they're gonna, which is definitely a misunderstanding. They feel like they're gonna get rich from being a nurse, is the money.
Yeah, COVID messed them up. COVID really messed them up.
They feel that way. And another thing is, a lot of them are coming in because of the uniform, believe it or not. And I hate to say that. They come in, they have the BBLs, they have the this, the that. All they care about is how their scrub is fitting. They're tight. They're tight around the waist. They're tight around the hip. They're tight. And I know you've seen it. I have seen it with Michelle. You and I used to work at another facility.
Mm-hmm.
And how many times have I had to tell that nurse, look, you need to, if you come in here again looking like this, you're going to have to go home and change. It's not about the body. It's not about the scrubs. It's not about it's about the
hair,
patients,
the nails
that you're taking care of. The nails are long and pointy and sharp, like they got claws on their hands. The eyelashes are out to here. It's just ridiculous. I know you're talking about bullying, so I'm gonna get back on that subject. But now it's at an all-time high. Nurses have always been the profession that eats their young. It's always been that since I've been a nurse.
Me too.
It's been that way with you also, right? Where we eat our youngs. And there were some movement towards where we feel for the young ones coming in. And we're not. It's always been that way. The bullying that I see, that I am... like inducing DON to her. So I'm her assistant. I'm your assistant. I'm not your maid. I'm not your man. I'm not your husband. I'm not any of that. But the professionalism that should be there is not. And I encounter that every single day. So you're exactly right. There's a lot of bullying in this profession. And it depends on your status. It depends on your position.
Who you know.
It depends on who you know. Like the people
a lot of them.
I know the people she has brought into the facility to work under her, some of them are LPNs. And she has like tried numerous amount of time to put them above me because they're her friends. And I've had to step up and say, hey, wait a minute. Because I don't have a problem bringing the Bronx, Queens, and Brooklyn to Georgia. Okay? Wait a minute. She's an LPN. There's no way I'm getting on that cart when you have an LPN sitting at the desk. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay?
Shouldn't.
The boss is going to be, it's going to get on the cart, it's going to be her. But she has tried numerous amount of time to bully me into me doing things while her friends are researching orders or doing this or that. But Paulette, I need you to get on the cart. No, ma'am. If you need order research, I'll do it. She can go ahead and get on the cart. But because of that, then I'm like an outcast. But I don't mind being an outcast, because what you're not going to do is bully me. Okay? I'm not having it. But unfortunately, there are nurses that don't have the I don't know what word I need to use. You know, and then it wears on their psyche.
Or they're afraid. They're afraid
That's
of
what
the
I
ON.
mean by,
And they don't want to lose their job. So they just do whatever you tell them to do or act
physically, mentally. It does. You know, I mean, the job in itself is hard enough, as Antoinette mentioned earlier, when we're taking a lot from patients now. And patients that used to not be in this environment, the hospitals are releasing patients sicker and sicker now. So now we're taking care of patients that would have normally still been in the hospital getting that kind of care. Now we're doing it. And it's not subacute care anymore. You know, it's acute care mixed with subacute care. Then you have a lot of psych patients now,
more than before,
more than ever, that are out here and that you got to care for. So,
and similar in the hospital, take ICU patients and wind up in med surg and etc.
Step down. Put your up to
step down. So it happens all across the board. You mentioned a few things. One of them was the nurses eat their young, and it was something that actually I try to research it and go back as far as possible. It was in the early 1900s. So we know it exists, and at that particular time, the superiority person was the more experienced, which was the older nurse.
Yep.
Correct? But we know now...
The more mature nurse?
Supposedly. So we know now that bullying don't have a particular face. So eating a young, let's just think about that. Like, we have a profession where we supposed to care for other human beings.
Yeah.
We're talking about people, other human beings. And we're saying, and we were okay with that statement being carried throughout many generations of nurses eat their young. And everyone wants to react that same. Do we have in the military, do you ever hear about we gonna leave our soldiers behind? No man is ever left behind. No man. So people live by the statement. We create slogans rather that we have created for ourselves.
Well, the slogan nurses eat their young, it's not that we leave the nurses behind. And I'm not one of them that eat the young. You know, I've never been that kind of nurse, because I've been eaten when I was young. You know, it just means that they're bullied coming up in the ranks. Or because you have less experience while you're trying to learn, they're teaching you, but it's the way they're doing it.
Exactly.
It's the mannerism, it's the temperament.
Yes.
Right.
But and one other thing was can actually bully experienced nurses, correct? Young nurses, it doesn't have an age anymore. It doesn't have an experience. It does not have a culture. It does not have a race. Everyone at this point in time in nursing can be a bully or be bullied. I have seen new nurses as new grads come in.
Yes.
So normally we would say, okay, that particular nurse will be more open to be bullied. And I have seen her click up with some friends and become one of the biggest bullies there were on the unit. So the point I'm trying to make, it just happens, it has no particular face anymore. And so the main thing, like we know it exists across every level, every experience. We have LPN bullying, DONs and DONs bullying, charge nurses, and it goes a variety.
Yeah, it does.
across.
It's a circle.
You said something very interesting. You said a new nurse coming in, click up. That's the biggest problem. One of the biggest problem in nursing is the cliques. It's almost like they form a gang. It's the cliques. And if you're not in, sometime if you're not in that clique, you're an outcast. And if you don't have a strong backbone, you're out there probably will be bullied.
Yeah.
Because there's so many cliques in nursing now.
They'll outnumber you.
They're cliques
and
in
it's
nursing.
like it's like a pack. It's like in the animal kingdom, they'll find the weaker line as
The
what
weaker link.
as they will say, and then the thing is that you may be strong enough to deal with one person, and that person will now go get
2, 4, 6.
the whole clique,
6.
and everyone will constantly come after you
Mhm.
consistently,
And that make you the problem.
and then make you the problem. And then
Right.
again, like you mentioned, you say you had someone that's in management that brought their friends in, so they're not going to be fair to even reprimand their friends
Exactly.
when there is an issue.
They don't.
Exactly,
So-
and they don't.
They don't.
I literally
They don't.
had to write up one of her friends that was a LPN.
Mm-hmm.
And she went into HR file and took the write-up out.
No.
And when I found out that happened, I rewrote it, made a copy, took a copy home, left a copy in my office, and the other copy, I sent it to corporate HR so they could put it in a corporate file. This is how bad it's gotten.
Wow.
Okay? So you're exactly right. They will not allow you to and if that person know they can do whatever and get away with it, and they're not going to be reprimanded, then they're going to do whatever. And I have seen it, which have put patient safety at risk, just different things, But then you have to be careful how you walk, because then now the retaliation can come against you,
Oh,
because
yeah.
technically that's your boss.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you have to be careful. So I send the Holy Spirit ahead of me. She have tried so many times, but I send the Holy Spirit ahead of me.
Yeah, and later on we will want to talk about also in many times, because it goes on and on, but you have found ways to handle it, unlike of course we want to vent. I think every nurse should have a voice to vent, because we have to get it out, because we go home with these
Anger.
issues that we have, anger,
Frustration.
irritation, and just imagine the things that we got to go through in our normal lives also. And then when we're trying to be there for our patients that are emotionally or mentally or physically declining, and not just them, their families.
Right.
So we're dealing with a lot, and it's everyone's problem. It's just not a nursing problem. It's a patient's issue. It's a patient family. It's healthcare issue, because what affects the nurse affects every single person involved.
And the nursing atmosphere has changed. When I first started nursing, and patient care was always a priority. But now most of these nursing homes and skilled units are ran by corporations, and the bottom line is at midnight I want to head in every bed. I don't care how you do it. I don't care who they are, where they come from, because I worked at a facility. We had our home ambulance was riding by and saw them passed out on the ground and took them to Grady, and they were homeless. And then we get them, and then here's where the shenanigans start. And corporate now won't let you say, I don't want that patient. Corporate say you got to take the patient. Oh, okay. The patient don't want to be here. I don't want him here. But yet corporate bullies you to let you know. The DONs used to be able to look at the paperwork and say, yeah, that's not a fit for here. Now they told them.
Right, you don't have a choice.
Thank
you have
you.
to take whoever comes.
I don't care if they crazy, crooked, left-eyed. You gonna take that patient.
But in speaking with what you were just saying, which I think is interesting because you were saying it doesn't matter, it doesn't have a face, an age, or none of that.
No.
CNAs, the audacity of a. So I lost my job behind that, but I wasn't going to take it. Literally, I asked her to leave the building. She was on the other side trying to fight with another CNA over an assignment.
They do that.
When I went over there, she wasn't even scheduled to be in the building. So I told her, you're not even on the schedule. I'm trying to help a nurse unclog a G-tube. 30 minutes later, I'm walking back after I unclogged the G-tube. I'm walking back to the other side. She's, no ma'am, you need to leave now. And because I told her that, she went straight off. I went up front to call the police to have her escorted out the building. She came up front and basically hit me in my head. But we, because I'm an RN, because I'm a supervisor, I'm supposed to maintain professionalism. You're not going to hit me, put your hand on me and get away with it. This is the kind of nonsense that we're experiencing in a medical care unit, facility,
It happens
in healthcare.
all over.
This when I said the type of people that are coming into healthcare now, because they know they get paid a little more than McDonald's or Burger King or wherever, and that they'll always have a job because they can facility hop through 100 facilities through Georgia.
Yes, they do.
Or New York or wherever they are, because there's so many of those facilities, right? They can facility hop. It doesn't matter to them, It's the quality of people that are coming in that into the profession that they're accepting. Like Michelle, I've been a nurse for years. I remember when I went to apply to nursing school, we had to do a whole, almost like a thesis, but it was like your resume and a whole write-up of yourself and what you want.
Then
and
you
what
have to get fingerprinted. You have to go
even
to police
before
shots
all of
and
that,
all
Michelle.
that.
Even before all of that, it was like, and then I had to go interview with the dean of nursing at the college and the chancellor. They had to interview us to see if we were a good fit as a nurse. And then they would decide and accept you into the program. Now, people that are coming in the program, as long as you could pay the tuition, they're taking you in the program. And then a lot of nurses are taking courses strictly online. So these people never get a chance to meet these people that they're bringing in as nurses. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely understand. I do believe the culture, some aspects of the culture as far as professionalism has changed. Bullying has always
been around.
And that it starts from school, nursing school. The professors are bullies.
Some of them.
A lot of them. It starts there because if we have education in school, because we have leadership classes.
Right.
So if part of those leadership classes are teaching us how to respect each other, how to protect each other, precepting, and we have new students, and there's nurses that don't want to do precepting at all. I remember being in nursing school, first experience, a big, large teaching hospital, and no nurse wanted to be anywhere near the student, correct? And instead of them fixing that, because it should not have become something that's normalized.
Well-
We're normalizing things that are very harmful.
Well, I get it in a way, because if you just, the way things are with nursing now, okay, when, back in the day when you had a preceptor, it was done through the college, okay, and the college took responsibility for you precepting, okay. Now it's not that way, because people, like I said, they're going to nursing. That person does is under your license.
Right.
It's under your license that you have worked years for and worked years to protect. You feel what I'm saying? So even if you're what the case is, let's say you turn away to document or something and that person goes and do something, it's under your
Students. So let's just go back, and I clearly understand that, because that's an aspect of it also. We all have to protect our license.
Our license.
But you know, I had a nurse that is going to try to take your license, and she have never lied. So we all have been students at some time. And let's say if someone treated each of us like that, solution that we're able to accept students, to treat them with, we're talking about human beings that we need to treat with dignity and respect, you know, unless someone has proved conversation. But we're doing this to new students just because they knew. I can be a new nurse. I have been bullied from the time I went to nursing school throughout my whole
Career.
20-some years.
Career.
I can step on the floor any place, and some nurse, immediately when you walk in as a new nurse, you go to the nursing station, you're trying to see who you're going to orientate with, and the snapping starts. The snapping. Who is she? Who's she going to work with? I ain't doing this. I'm not. Okay? Some of them have been a nurse way longer than they have. They don't care, because it has become normalized to be nasty
but that,
and to bully
And
each
I
other.
would think that
Disrespectful.
would go to people
And disrespect.
personality and attitude and the facility ability to accept that behavior. And I think it needs to start from the top of these facilities.
It does.
That's not it. I get, like, in that situation, that nurse that you're working with to orient, they're under the facility, so there's a covering. There's a sort of covering. But when you talk about precepting a brand new nurse in a hospital, that the hospital is not going to cover you. And I think they need to go back to the way it was, like when we were coming,
Yeah.
where they had preceptors. They had preceptors
They had
in
one,
hospitals.
though. One specific nurse was the
On each
preceptor
unit,
on each unit.
but that would precept, and then you would schedule with that person. And I think they need to go back to something like that. But to have a person out there at random that you call and say, "Hey, can you precept me?" It's very risky.
So I understand you're
It's
talking
very
about
risky.
advanced continuing education online, but the general of precepting is, I'm more talking about orientation. I'm talking about the brand new students, and I'm talking about nurses that just going to different
You're talking
areas
about
of work, and so
not
just
a
in
new
general,
nurse, but
it could be a
just
new nurse. Because remember, if new nurses come in there from school, then they're up under the guidance of their clinical director. That's how it's supposed to be for most of the part.
When you come in doing your clinical, but I'm saying if you need a preceptor, that means you're done with clinical.
Okay.
You're done with nursing school. Now you need a preceptor before you take your boards or what have you.
I understand. what you're
that's a
saying.
whole
Okay.
different
So
story.
I guess what I'm speaking of is orientation, because we all have
Okay,
to be
orientation.
orientation.
So-
Orientation when we're new to a facility on a unit or whatever, and we need someone to orientate us.
Okay, so let me
Okay.
touch on that
Yes.
just a little bit. So at the present time, I have a nurse, RN. She's a new nurse. She's been a nurse for 6 months, came into our facility. You think after 6 months someone know the basics as a nurse. The basics. I'm talking about doing an AccuCheck, doing a PPD. Vital signs, yes, she knew that. Flushing a Foley. You get these early in nursing school.
101.
Okay? Nursing 101.
101.
So you tell me you have a new RN come into a facility that's been a nurse for 6 months, was working somewhere else. Well, they terminated her from there. She came over there with us. And she doesn't even know the basics. I told her, I said, well, pretty much the patients were saying they were concerned about the things she was doing. So me as the, I got a million hats. So as the SCD, I needed to figure out what she knew. So I did a check sheet, like a,
Check off.
to let her check. She had to do the check to let me know what she knows. And then we're going to go over that, and I'm going to look. PPD, all that, she checked it, that she knew it, she was proficient. Inch needle.
Correct. Nurses have to be safe. We have to practice safe.
Absolutely.
No, what I'm saying, I understand your concern.
Oh,
because we have to
okay.
have safe
I
nurses.
thought you said you can understand her pulling it up.
We have. I can understand your concern. Your concern. Yes, I can understand your concern. My thing is that everybody learns at
A different pace.
a different
I
pace,
get
and
it.
for me, I just truly believe in treating people with compassion, empathy, kindness, grace, and not saying that it's not happening, and understanding I would want someone to be patient with me. However I treat someone, I would love to be treated that way.
That don't
So,
happen, no.
I would, me personally, I've been a clinical educator. I love when the students come in the facility. I'm like,
A student.
the students,
A student.
the new orientee,
Okay,
whoever it is, if they're a nurse and they want to learn, come in. The only thing I can't teach anybody is empathy. But anything else, I'm like, if I have the time, let me have the time.
That's the
to
point.
teach
You just
save
said
you.
you just said the magic word. If I have the time.
Right.
Okay. I don't have the time.
So
I don't
what do
have.
we do with the nurse?
First of all, that's why I now had to pull her off the floor. I don't have the time to take you back through nursing school. I don't have the time to teach you to be a nurse from nursing 101 all the way through. I don't have that time. You should already, as a nurse, come with a certain amount of skills.
They don't do that
Okay,
anymore, though.
that's that. Okay, now you're saying exactly what I've been saying from the beginning.
They don't do
you
that
go
no
to
more.
school online, you get no
Training.
experience, no training, no proper training, no nothing. You're able to take the test and pass
And
it.
pass it.
Okay, because in theory, it's different from clinical, right?
Yes, it is.
So in theory, you know these things. And you're able to click B, click C, click D on the test and pass it. But when you get on the floor, you don't know. I feel like that should be your responsibility at this point now
It's
to
not.
go get some training that you need before you come to this floor. Because here's the thing. Now you're dealing with real people's lives. As I mentioned, I'm the SCD in the building. I'm the assistant director of nursing. I am the restorative nurse, and I'm also the infection control officer. I don't have the time. I don't have the time to dedicate to one nurse to take you back to nursing school from day one and bring you all the way through. How to insert a Foley, how to flush a Foley, how to flush a G-tube, how to hook up. She did not even know how to hook up the
She didn't have no
feeding from a
experience.
G-tube and flush it. people
had
were
no
saying, "Is
experience.
she really a nurse? Y'all need to check her license. Is she real?" You know, these type of things. And I say, "Look, guys, you guys were new at one point too. Yeah, but we weren't like." And I get it. Everybody learns
Yeah.
at different stage, but I think it's her responsibility.
It is.
So I suggested to her to take a course, to go through a course, because it's her response. This is your license. These are the things you need to know.
True.
I already know them. You
True.
need to know that.
Well,
The
really,
basics in nursing. I'm not even talking about advanced nursing. The basics.
you know, I have one of the LPNs went back to school where I'm at too, and now she's an RN. She doesn't have those skills. But what happened is when I go to do something, I go get her. Like if I have to put a Foley in, if I have to start an IV, they give you some more weeks.
Correct.
They can afford to do that. It's a hospital.
Correct.
But when you come to a facility like this, you need some skills
Correct.
because no one is going to teach you.
Well, I wouldn't say no one's going to teach them, but like you said, when you have something like that, if let's say you got to insert a Foley, you go get her. How often do you have to do that in a facility like this? You
Right.
understand what I'm saying?
That's why I told him a hospital.
So it's not like an everyday thing.
It's
I
not.
don't have those what do you call those mannequins that I can bring you into a room and say,
And
okay,
practice.
let me show you how to put a
Uh-huh.
Foley in. Let me do this and do
No.
that. The person you're going to be practicing on is a human being
Right.
Well,
alive.
I mean that could be a whole nother topic, okay, for discussion.
Right.
So
It
that's
can.
that's a topic by itself. I think it's an awesome topic. You should actually write it down so we can come back
Well,
to that particular.
She feels like she's been bullied.
But-
That's why I thought about her.
Okay.
Because
What do you know exactly? What is she saying, or what would make her feel that way? What
Her-
did she say?
she said to me, I know everyone is looking at me crazy, but you know, the place that I got what I got trained at in Pennsylvania, and it was a hospital. She said it was a hospital. You know, the hospitals that used to train nurses type of thing. And I said, well, if that's the case, you should have had mad skills. And she said, yeah, but we didn't get any of that. And, you know, and I know, you know, nobody wants me on theirs because it's 2 nurses on each unit, and the nurse don't want her as partners now
Okay.
because they're afraid that, because she doesn't know anything. And I said to her, you know what? You may want to look at a course and taking how we take, you know, like a critical care course, or we take a med
Yeah.
surge course to specialize in med surge. I said you may could look at maybe taking a med surge course, and it'll teach you pretty much everything about med surge.
Okay.
You'll come back on roller skates around here. And she said, you think so? I said, yeah, just look at taking
So
a
you was
course.
trying to encourage her to just
Right, she
advance
needs
her
to take a
knowledge.
course.
So, but you mentioned as far as the bully part, because that's very nice. If we can come and say, hey, here are some options. But what made her feel? Well, let's say not
Oh,
feel.
they didn't
what
want
did,
her.
What did she? So did anyone treat her in a certain way that made her feel that she was being bullied?
Well, no one really came out and said, but you could tell when somebody is shying away from you, or they're whispering and
so
you
it
know,
was gossiping about
gossiping,
it. Okay.
and then you hear things and you hear something said, and
Correct.
you know, so you just feel now
Correct.
that okay. And then the place where she was working was another long-term care. She was there for 2 months, and they terminated her because of the same issue.
She don't have any
They
skills.
trained, and then the place before that, when she first got out of school, she was there 4 months. They terminated her. So after 4 months, she still wasn't getting whatever they were teaching her.
Yeah.
Then she went to another place 2 months. They terminated her, and one of the CNAs that worked with her at the place she was at for 2 months before she came to us was there in the building, and she was telling the other nurses, oh yeah, I used to work with her, but they terminated her.
So mainly
Because-
she had a group of people gossiping about her.
That's what it
Gossiping.
is.
So could we consider that as being bullied?
That's
Oh
bully.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So that's the main thing. It's one thing if the nurse at that time is not competent of doing certain things. correct? And of course, we don't want any unsafe nurse on the floor.
Absolutely
But
not.
then we have another issue is the way in which people dealt
Handled
with
her.
her.
Right.
Because even if she does not know the skills she needs to know, she should never had to endure bullying.
Right.
And that's like the bigger issue that I'm trying to bring awareness to, because how can you possibly learn if you're feeling bullied?
In that
brings
environment.
anxiety, it brings all kind of stress if anybody is under that type of pressure.
but
Not her, but somebody else.
have excellent skills.
oh yeah.
And
oh,
if
that's
you're in an
absolute.
environment that someone is constantly, everywhere you look, you hyper vigilant because there's someone you know that's constantly coming at you, trying to set you up, because we know that happens. People try to set
All
other
the
nurses
time.
up. And you know, I would love to share my stories, but I'm going to save it for another couple other episodes, because I have quite a bit of stories
I do too.
to tell. But
I have as
even
well.
with that, I want to also, the Bullyproof Nurse is advocacy and culture change. So I do want to bring the solutions,
Right.
because I want a group of nurses that we can start one nurse at a time. It don't take a million people to say, oh, I'm going to feed into that and I want to make a difference. It takes one courageous
village.
nurses.
It takes a village.
One courageous nurses doing a kind act to one nurse and a kind act to another nurse and a kind statement. I saw on YouTube, a lot of nurses come on there and they have concerns about bullying. And there was this young nurse and she was in tears. It hurt my heart. She was in tears and she was like, I just can't stand this older nurse. She's doing A, B, and C to me. And so another nurse, which was a nurse for several years, and any nurse in the hospital that I'm working in,
Did
you
that.
come find me. She says, you come find me. And she said, I'm going to put a stop to it. Now, that particular nurse that did the YouTube video was not in her hospital, but she just reacted to the video. It was a video that went viral. But her to take that stand, and that's what I'm saying, to make culture change, we have to take the stand to say, you know something, it's not acceptable.
And it's
We're
not
just
right.
not going to do
it's
that.
It's not right.
And I know you said you walk onto the unit and you're saying who you're going to orient with and they're doing this. I think it's probably my demeanor why they don't do that to me. You know what I mean? It may be just my demeanor because I am not, that's not, like you said, it's not acceptable. So that's not something that I'm going to accept, period. And that's not even up for discussion. And if I walk onto a unit and they say, well, who's orientating? I'm not. I'm going back. I'm going to say, excuse me. I'm going to go back to the DON or whoever sent me there and say, listen, I need a name of who I'm orienting with because your staff is very belligerent and what have you. And I need a name. So when I get down there, hey, Melissa, I'm with you today, okay? I'm just orienting with you.
And normally on the assignment
And that's
sheet,
it.
they'll put
Because
it on there.
I can't put up with nonsense, and I cannot strive in chaos.
See, at our
Understandable.
place,
Yes.
we put the
Yes.
name with who you're gonna orientate
And
with.
you know,
it makes it go less better and
I
less
can't
confusion.
thrive in chaos. Yeah, I just can't.
But nobody can.
Well, some people love chaos. They create
The one
it.
that creates it,
Some
correct?
people create
The ones
chaos
that
because that's
creates
how
it.
they thrive.
And I-
you know,
you're
I-
it
absolutely
takes the
right.
focus off of them when
Right.
there's chaos.
Correct.
You know?
Correct.
And I want to say that
Correct.
nursing is a great profession. We're not trying to put
Or bash
nursing down or bash it, because I've been in a nurse for this long length of time because nursing paid my bills. Nursing kept a roof over my kids' head. Nursing kept food in my stomach, car, wheel. So nursing is like any other job that you have to do. But what we're saying is that there's some aspects to nursing that you need to be aware of.
Yeah.
And one of them is bullying.
Well,
Yeah.
like in every profession, they're good and bad in every
That's correct.
profession.
Yeah.
And you're right. You're right into that. Nursing is a really good,
Good
profession.
profession.
I feel it's for me, it's a great profession, and I wouldn't have been in it this long if I didn't love being a
Right.
nurse.
Yeah.
I like caring for
Exactly.
people. It's just
Yeah.
it's just the way my heart is. That's the way God made me. That's how He put me
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
But
Like
then
every other
that-
job.
right?
Yeah.
But on the other aspects of it,
Mhm.
the other parts of the medical field and nursing
Mhm.
is what you were discussing.
Mhm.
Not just bullying, but there's lots of other issues that we come against,
Shenanigans.
Correct.
and it's just now to
Shenanigans.
find
Mhm.
ways to deal with it. Ways
Correct.
to correct what's happening,
Correct.
and so we can move forward as a profession,
It's-
and that
exactly.
won't continue to be a part, because there's so much that we have to endure just in one shift, just with, like you said, our patients, the family members, the doctors,
Oh, it's
the,
enough.
the social workers,
Drive you crazy.
just so many other things than to have that be an issue,
Yes.
to have to deal with on top of everything
Yeah.
else.
Just imagine. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just imagine the military. And I love nursing.
to fight
But-
for us, and then
So just
get
imagine
killed.
they're going to beat up each other when they're on the field. They go in, and if they have to lay next to their next soldier and pass away with him, they will. It was like no man left behind. They're going to pull them off that battlefield because that is what they stand for. They stand for honor. Now,
Right.
nursing is to me is the most honorable and rewarding professions in the world.
Absolutely.
And I have worked next to some absolutely amazing nurses that have been, extraordinary to their patients and have had the capacity to love and nurture the other nurse too. And so that is why I feel it's so important for me. I was like, before I leave this earth, if there's nothing else I do, I'm going to speak out about what has been normalized
Yeah, it is.
and no attention is being, well, now we have YouTube attention being brought to, but we need a national attention brought to. We talk about the nurse retention. We talk about the burnout. You know, that is in the buzzing internets now.
but there's always been
and then,
burnouts.
but
Yeah.
the thing is that we need to put nursing culture as part of the same fights we're fighting for, because we're saying that nurses are burned out because of the patients and because of this, but no one is saying nurses are burnt out because other nurses are burning them out. I want that part of the speech now. I want that part of what we talk
the
about.
pink
and
elephant in the room.
Exactly, because we're in Washington speaking about the burnout and we're not getting paid enough and the patient and nurse ratios and all that. That is excellent, but
Yes.
I would like this talk also. We have nurses that are sick. I've seen nurses have nervous breakdown. Sit in
But
their
you
car
know-
crying about these situations. They don't want to get a report from another nurse. So if you don't want to get a report from another nurse and you don't want to give another nurse report, then what happens to our patient care?
Exactly. And you speak about the military. I was also a member of the military.
Well, thank
And
you for
when
your
you-
service.
You're welcome. And when you talk about bullying, we
Mm-hmm.
won't even touch on the military. So you're saying I won't even touch on that because that's a whole nother profession.
I think what I'm saying, when I mention it, I mention when people speak of nurses eat their young. When people speak of military, no man left behind. I'm more
but that's a whole
intrigued-
different. Those are two different things.
Let me say, I'm speaking of the slogan in which one tries to live their life by. So I think if
When
when we start speaking of nursing, we normalize the bullying and everything because we're like, oh well, nurses eat their young, so it becomes
No, that's
like
No,
something that
no. When I said nurses eat their young,
no, not you.
no.
You know, that's
when
a
I
general.
right when I say that,
Mhm.
it's this age or whatever. When you're an experienced nurse and you have a new nurse coming in,
Mm-hmm.
there's no respect for that new nurse coming in.
Mhm.
You're pretty much gonna treat them
About it's yeah.
from a nurse's.
No, I'm not comparing.
Yeah.
I'm speaking of the slogan itself.
Okay.
It still has a positive slogan. So even though you have bullying and et cetera behind it, it's a positive slogan that still people, when you see it on TV, you're seeing people not leave that man behind. So even in, you'll have a feeling of, I want to be part of this because I feel good about what I'm doing because there's no man left behind. I'm not by myself.
Right.
This is my brother and my sister, and we're going to help each other through it. It's the slogan. We created a slogan that is so toxic, and we choose to live by.
Nursing slogan.
So when
because nobody
they don't have to speak it.
No, but-
The actions are
But what I'm
showing it.
saying, what I'm saying in comparison, right?
Mhm.
What I'm saying is, like you said, you see in a commercial, the military, it said "No man left behind." So they're speaking of a positive slogan
Correct.
to say
Right.
this, right?
Correct.
And nursing is nurses are not going to go out there and say, "Oh, we are nurses." And nurses eat their young. We're not going to do that. It's just something within the culture that all nurses know. It's sad, but it's not something that we're proud of. It's not something that we're going to go out there and just, I'm speaking it today because we're sitting on this panel as nurses. So we all know that.
But
We
this
all
is the
know
thing,
that.
too. It's just like you said. It's gonna take someone starting this initiative, and that's what you're
And then
have
each
to do.
one to
You're gonna
catch
start.
on. Each one.
So you're gonna start this initiative. Then it's gonna make its way up to
and
Washington.
do a wave, and then other nurses will step in. Each nurse, each one will step on, and eventually
And
it
even
will become.
for your podcast, you could do nurses that have been bullied and hear the different stories or stuff like she's saying is on social media. The different nurses that have been
And then go to-
experienced that, and what we can do. We're working
Exactly,
toward.
and then go to what can be done.
Done.
What is the?
Yeah.
We
what-
want
Well,
we want
This
legislation.
particular, the movement of the Bulletproof Nurse is one to bring awareness to it. Number one, have the conversations. Then the solutions and the education behind holding ones accountable for.
All right.
But we do once have to start being honest about what does exist.
Absolutely.
And then what are some of our solutions? What can nurses do? I know they speak of the chain of command. I know we can't speak about everything today.
Right.
But there's
But it depends too on the facility.
oh yeah, it definitely.
You know what I'm
definitely.
saying?
Oh, yes,
it starts
definitely.
at the top.
And
It's gonna
management has
depend
a lot
on-
to do
it's
with it.
It's going to depend on the facility leadership within the facility. Because if it's not tolerated on any level, you see what I'm saying?
That is true. That is one aspect of it that starting leaders at the top of it, because we have to hold facilities accountable. We have to hold
Accountable.
hospitals accountable, leadership, but we also have to hold each other, because if they start seeing many nurses, just like we out in Washington and around everywhere fighting for nurse and patient ratios, that's not the top doing that. Those are individual nurses say, no, we're not going to work
We've
like
had
this
enough,
anymore
right.
to make those changes, correct?
Right. It's
Those are the
enough.
Well,
nurses.
actually, it did start at the top. It actually did.
more
It
of the
started
nur-
at the top of the nursing organization. That's because it's been put to them for over a few decades about what was going on in nursing. It's been put to the nursing organization.
So the nurse, but what I'm saying, the nurses themselves, there's
Yeah.
a nursing aspect in themselves that are saying we going to have to
Make this
make
change.
this change.
We gotta make
so
a
the
change.
same thing is, even if I'm not at the top of leadership, I'm one nurse. You're one nurse. You're one nurse, and I'm saying when I see it, I'm dead ending it.
Right, I get
I'm going to
you.
protect that next nurse, and if each nurse feel
Excuse me.
that way, and we can start at every level, maybe start at each unit, correct? There are some units in some hospitals that are better than other units because we have the unit manager there, the educator there, that has a feeling of saying, I went to visit your place. The DON there says, I don't want that nonsense here. Correct?
That's exactly
So,
what I was talking
But
about.
she's just one nurse. She's
Right.
just one nurse with a
But
title.
that's exactly
I'm
what
one
I
nurse
was
with a
talking about.
title. Wherever title that we choose to have, we can make the change individually. And each nurse, I believe me, if we look through history, we can talk about a lot of our leaders through history. It took one person
Yeah.
to start it.
Yeah.
One
And-
idea, one person, and I don't want us to ever think anything is too big for nurses. We are too resilient, too tenacious to ever allow
That's true.
our profession to become something that is just unacceptable. We should be passionate enough about what we stand for as nurses in our profession. I love nursing.
Yeah.
It hurts me when nurses be like, oh, I'm leaving the field, or nursing students like, oh, I'm not going into that field. That place is toxic.
Well, you know what it is? I think a big part of it is the unprofessionalism, and I keep coming back to that.
Well, but-
If they bring back professionalism into the profession, if they bring back professionalism into the profession, and I think the bullying piece will have no place, because think about it. If you're a professional nurse and you're professional within your facility, would you say certain things because to someone, or treat somebody a certain way that's disrespectful because it's not professional?
No.
Regardless of how you feel.
So we've had a good evening. We're going to have to sign off. I've enjoyed the conversation. I hope you have it too.
Give me one statement.
And we're going to continue this. I promise you next month we'll be back, and at least we'll have one day and continue it. Thank you so much for my guests. These are my girls today. Thank you, audience. I want everyone to have a phenomenal day. And bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, how are you doing? This is Antoinette Louise Joy, the author of Becoming Phenomenal. This is an hour of girl talk. Me and my girls are going to be kicking it on subjects like diet, nutrition, love, romance, marriage, dating, clothes, what to wear, fashion, hair, wig. We're going to talk about all that. If you want to comment, or even if you want to ask a question, you can call us. The number's at the bottom of the screen. This is my dream come true. What is yours? God is good all the time, and you can become phenomenal too.